Welcome to my first Diablo 4 video. This is the open beta early access. So in this video I'm going to discuss on how to get from level 1 to 25. That is the current level cap in the game right now during early access. So just to show you, I'm level 25, you can even see it down here. So as you go along the story or just open world, however you want to play, you're constantly going to be switching out your gear. So don't feel too invested in one gear piece. The biggest thing I would say is your skills. This is very confusing at first, but when you break it down, it can be simplified a lot better. So you have your basic skills, your core skills, defensive skills. I'm not too sure if it's going to be different or not depending on your class because I am playing barbarian, but here's brawling skills, and then weapon mastery skills, and then ultimate skills. So basically the key format is you want to have one of each, okay? Meaning you want to have your basic skill, which is your generator skill. That's how you generate whatever it is. If you use magic, wrath, and whatever it is for your class, right? So you want to make sure you choose one and stick with that one. As far as leveling it, I wouldn't worry too much unless you need to get to the next node. To get to the next node, you need to spend so many skills to acquire it. But I mainly care about going to the next tier after that, not the actual upgrade of the skill. Now, another key thing too is make sure as you're choosing your skills, you try to go for something that gives a debuff. For example, for me, I made sure to have bleed on everything. If you want, I'm not too sure on what else there is since this is my first character I'm testing, but try to do something that causes maybe a stun, freeze, or bleed like I mentioned, weaken, and vulnerability, because that's what my build is. My build, it bleeds them and makes them invulnerable. So I have my primary attack, which causes a bleed. Then I have my core skill, which is my whirlwind. This is what I chose because it's good AoE damage, meaning I can kill a lot of trash mobs, and that's actually what allowed me to level up so quickly. So I did that. And then for defensive skills, I stacked Rallying Cry, and then I did War Cry. These buff my damage. And then for here, for my weapon mastery, I chose this skill Death Blow because it instantly kills trash mobs, and it can reset the cooldown. So there's a lot of times when I could just spam this and it would instantly kill things around me. Then for my ultimate, I did Call of the Ancients because that just was just a huge burst in damage. But anyway, bottom line, before you even get to all that, you want to choose your core skill and power up your core skill as much as possible and have the nodes unlocked, which, you know, give the added benefit to it. And then make sure you try to stack up either defensive buffs to increase your survivability or damage buffs to increase your damage. So for any class, just make sure you try to focus on one thing. You don't want to waste your points on unlocking all of these because that's going to be wasted. You're not going to be having all primaries in one spot. You don't want to even it out. Have your main attack, which gives you resource, your attack that's strong, that spends the resource and applies whatever, and then your defensive and offensive buffs, and then whatever you want for your weapon mastery. Now, if you don't worry about choosing the wrong thing, because at some point you can refund. For me, I'm on PC, so I right click, and it just costs some gold. The lower level you are, the cheaper it is to refund it, but even me being at the max level in game right now, it doesn't cost much right now. So like right now, 110 gold, and I have over 23,000, so it's not too bad. Now in regards to your items, like I said, you're going to be replacing these a lot. Now let's say if you get like an item that complements a certain skill or whatever, you could always go back into your skill tree and respec towards it and, you know, try to go off of that. But I would say only do that if you're having trouble clearing current content that you're on, because you can make those changes and then within a few levels a new gear drop that you're going to get is going to completely make that build that you've been going with unnecessary, unless it's a good core build where it works with just about any armor piece. Because for a while I was having armor pieces that didn't have anything to do with my build, and I just used it because that was the best item I had. Once I got a better item, I replaced it immediately. Another pointer for whenever you level, keep all your legendaries. Even when you over level your legendaries, throw these in the stash, because at the end, once you're max level, you can extract and imbue your legendaries. So you would take this, you would extract, and whatever you saved, you do that. It costs gold, extract it, that you can imprint later. So this one I imprinted, and this is the ability that I have on right now. I extracted the one that I saved from a lower level, then I imprint it on my current items so I get the benefit from it. So make sure as you level that you save all of your legendary gear, because it will come in handy whenever you're at the max level, so that way you can test out whatever builds you want to do. You're not stuck worrying about having to farm for it. And I'll show right now my little collection that I have going. I actually got pretty lucky with the RNG. So as you see in my stash right now, I have quite a bit of legendaries. I didn't extract them all yet because it's gonna have me lose all my gold by doing that. So I mainly extracted what I wanted to test out first, then I'll extract more later. But yeah, that's a quick overview on how to get to level 1 to 25 pretty easily. It's not too bad. It took me roughly, not counting dealing with Q, I want to say 6 hours or so, maybe a little more, but it's not too bad. Now, as far as progressing through the game itself, I suggest play the game how you want to play it. Right? I didn't even finish the main storyline. What I ended up doing is I explored a bunch of the dungeons, and I did some of the side quests. And some of the dungeons you could actually redo. I'm not too sure on if it's time gated or you have to leave game or come back. It just happened to be a coincidence whenever I disconnected from the server because of how loaded the server is right now. But every time I got back, there's times where a dungeon I just cleared is available. So you could just farm dungeons, hop between the dungeons, do the quest. But pretty much what I did when I was in town, I would click all the quests that were available, and I would kill every monster along the way while I do quests. And if I ran into a dungeon, I would do the dungeon. So that's what I would recommend as far as the leveling process itself, is collect everything in town, go towards something along your way, kill mobs, and then do any type of dungeon that is along your way, because you're going to get your levels, you're going to get better gear, and you're going to get materials along the way too. So there's not really right or wrong. It's really how you want to play the game. If you want to get to level 25 as quickly as possible, I suggest using your time efficiently. And like I said, pick everything up, do everything that comes along the way, and you'll be fine. As far as killing mobs, do your best to try to group them up into packs instead of killing one thing at a time. Try to make a build that has the good AoE clear. If you're not sure on what AoE means, it's pretty much area of effect. So a move that can target more than one enemy at a time, which is what I have for Whirlwind. And I'm pretty sure other classes can have other things to do. In future videos, I'll be covering class specific on what worked for me, not necessarily what's best, because I don't know what's best right now since it's beta, but I can recommend what works for me. But yeah, so that's pretty much how to get to level 1 to 25 in the early access open beta. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe. I'll be posting more Diablo 4 content while the open beta is available, so please stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching.